Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Always On, the Cyber and AI Growth Briefing for Business Leaders. My name is Earl Kelly. I'm the CEO of Cidian Group, and today we're diving into a threat most business leaders have never seen coming. Because AI is no longer just writing email, it's writing legal threats. Fake attorney notices, synthetic subpoenas, AI-generated demand letters, even an entire fabricated regulatory actions designed to intimidate your business into paying or complying. And these documents look so real, even trained professionals are being fooled. If your team handles mail, invoices, compliance notices, or HR documentation, today's briefing is going to be mission critical. So let's get into it. AI has made it unbelievably easy to impersonate law firms, government agencies, attorneys, regulators, courts, HR investigators, and more. Attackers no longer rely on broken English emails or sloppy phishing attempts. They're generating flawless legal threats. Proper formatting, realistic case numbers, convincing legal citations, authentic signatures, and even official seals. And they're using these documents to extract money, steal data, and intimidate small businesses into dangerous actions. This is the new frontier of social engineering. And here's what we're going to break down today. We're going to talk about how AI is generating legal threats that look completely real. We're going to show some real cases where small businesses were tricked into paying fake legal fees, the psychology behind intimidation-based fraud, how to verify legal documents in under a minute, your legal threat safety protocol. So we're going to give you a checklist that your staff must follow. And we've got a lot to cover. So by the end of this, you'll understand exactly how to keep your business safe. Now, this week's topic affects in every industry. Why? Because every business touches legal and compliance processes. If your team handles HR claims, contracts, vendor disputes, licensing, regulatory notices, compliance documentation, invoices, payroll auditing, all of that, then guess what? You are in the crosshairs. So AI-generated legal threats scare people into action. And attackers know that SMBs, or small businesses, don't have legal departments that are double checking every document. Now, let me give you two real stories. A regional medical practice received a HIPAA violation notice demanding nearly $28,000 within 72 hours. The letter they received looked official, it had an official seal on it, had legal terminology, it had a case number, and everything that you would expect to have on that document. Two staff members were preparing payment before someone questioned it, and it was completely fake. So luckily, someone said, hey, this isn't where we get our normal stuff. So they were smart enough to ask a question about it and then follow up, or they would have been out $28,000. In another case, a transportation company received a court-ordered subpoena demanding sensitive customer data. It looked real, it sounded real, and it contained a fake judge's signature. All fake. And guess what? Both were generated by AI in under 45 seconds. And this isn't the future, it's happening right now. And here's the number that should make every leader pause. 37% of small businesses reported receiving at least one fraudulent legal notice in the past 12 months. Most didn't realize it was fake until after they responded. And here's what's worse about that. These attacks are becoming more sophisticated every month. Now, here's the attack workflow. A criminal downloads a real legal template, a subpoena, a demand letter, or a regulatory notice. They give it to AI. AI rewrites the letter with correct formatting, jurisdiction-specific language, real-sounding legal citations, threatening deadlines, and emotional pressure. AI generates a forged attorney's name, bar number, or a government seal, and then the document is delivered by email and sometimes even by postal mail. You receive the letter and then panic sets in. and your team reacts before they even verify. AI handles the writing, AI handles the formatting, and AI handles the intimidation. All the attacker has to do is send. So who gets hit? Well, who falls for these attacks? Office administrators, controllers, HR professionals, operations managers, legal assistants, executives rushing between meetings. In other words, the people who care about compliance the most. The attackers know that these individuals want to do the right thing, and the fear of legal consequences is incredibly powerful. This is psychological warfare. Keep in mind how many people that they called and they spoke with the greatest generation about we're putting out an arrest warrant because that legal case gives you right into, well, I don't want to go to jail, so let me pay them. So again, anytime you have legal consequences, that is a very powerful way to get people to move. Again, we're talking about psychological warfare. So let's talk impact. Now, fake legal threats cost businesses. On average, small businesses, when I did the research for this, lost about $42,000 a year. The recovery time, about 2 to 6 weeks. Productivity time is often down. Data exposure, vendor trust, staff confidence, legal confusion, all the same things that happened during a security breach. But it also damages internal morale. When did this legal issue happen? Are we in trouble? Did we miss something? Right? You've lost $42,000 of the boss's money. Is the boss going to be mad? Is he going to fire you? Again, these are big consequences. It creates chaos, and attackers thrive in chaos. So here's the shift that we all need to make. Legal documents are now guilty until verified. So a seal means nothing, a signature means nothing, a deadline means nothing, a case number means nothing. Anyone can fabricate all of it with AI. Your mindset has to shift from this looks official to prove this is real. So let's dive into our AI myth of the week. So for our AI myth of the week, this one gets businesses in real trouble. The myth is we would know if a legal document was fake. No, you wouldn't actually, not anymore. AI can now create flawless attorney notices, subpoenas, demand letters, and government agency communications, all with perfect formatting, perfect tone, and even forged seals and signatures. We've seen office managers, controllers, operations leaders, even attorneys that were fooled by AI-generated legal documents. This isn't a human detection problem. So I don't want you to think, well, my staff would be stupid to fall for that. It's not a human detection problem. This is a process verification problem. So if you rely on instinct to identify a fake, you've already lost. So let's talk about your AI tools. Now, here's your main document analysis prompt, and I'm going to show you this right now. So let me pull up my AI today. I have decided we are going to use Gemini, and I already have Gemini open. Okay. So I made a couple of fake documents earlier so that we could play around with some prompts that I think are very helpful for everyone. All right. So our prompt is going to be, so first of all, I'm going to say that I received this document. It is a demand letter. And I'm going to attach this demand letter. All right. So write this down because this is going to be your prompt. Analyze this document for signs of AI generated content, manipulated images, forged signatures, incorrect citations, or unusual formatting, and identify any abnormalities. Okay. So we're going to take this document and we're going to submit this. And so Gemini is going to go out and it's going to look and it's going to review the document. All right. So it comes back and it says the document is specifically labeled as a simulation, which is good. And so it has explicit signs of simulation and fabrication. So it knows that this is a false document. So I can go a little bit further and I can say, okay, we'll say this, compare this document with, and we're going to use, let's just say Farah and Farah. And it's going to tell us what it thinks based on information that comes from Farah and Farah. Well, it's thinking about it real hard. Something went wrong. Well, apparently Google is doing well. All right, I'm going to re-upload the document because I think it lost it. Once again, don't you love it when technology works? All right. We're going to do this again. So I'm going to upload this document. Let's see what it says. All right. So again, it says that the simulation against the standards of legitimate correspondence from Fair and Fair, a well-known personal injury law firm. Most immediate sign is that it's a mock document from Hillcrest and Vale Intellectual Property Division. It also gives an explicit label. So it will go through and it will tell you that it is a invalid document, and this is why. So again, those are your fraudulent escalation prompts. So compare this document to legitimate samples from and put in your agency. And it could even be something like, give me an example from a HIPAA violation or something like that, right? You want to highlight tone inconsistencies, structural differences, citation issues, maybe a watermark irregularity, or anything that indicates forgery. So give these two prompts to your office manager, your HR team, your accounting team, anyone who processes inbound documents, right? Upgrade your people with AI because attackers already have. Now, I will tell you this, you're also going to end up getting, if you have a website, you're going to end up getting, and I'm trying to see if I have it or I may have actually gotten rid of it, but you're going to get a document from someone named Domain Services or something like that. And it's going to say you need to you need to re-up your domain, and it's going to be like $300. I get them every year. Domains don't cost $300. Domains cost somewhere between $10 and $50, depending on where you get it. But again, this is a fraudulent document. They are asking you, they know you're coming up for renewal, and what they will do is they will get you to renew through them for $300. And then next year, it'll be $300. So again, just make sure that anyone who opens your mail has got these two prompts. So, all right, give me just a moment here. Now, let's walk through your legal threat safety checklist. Now, never respond to legal demands without verification. Call the law firm or agency using a number that you look up. Now, I stress this all the time. You're going to get an email from Amazon, or you're going to get an email from someone, and it's going to say, call this number. You want to look up the number and call the number directly that you've looked up, because the number on the document is probably going to be fake. Okay? So don't call the number in the document. Train your team to treat every legal notice as suspicious until proven genuine. And document every verification attempt. Implement a 24-hour cooling period for any legal or compliance threats. Now, this checklist here should be posted in every operations, HR, and accounting department. So here's what's coming up in the next 30 days. Fake subpoenas demanding data. Uh-oh. Someone is calling me, and now I can't go on. So fake subpoenas demanding immediate data, synthetic demand letters seeking settlements, false security audits from cloned agencies, and AI-generated HR complaints used as leverage, and fraudulent court orders. We've already seen those coming out, requesting immediate payment, and fake IRS and Department of Labor communications during peak tax months. Now, these waves are coordinated. So if another business in your area is hit, you may be the next one. Now, here's where this becomes incredibly powerful, not just for protecting your own business, but for opening meaningful conversations with with prospects and clients. When I sit down with a business leader, I ask one simple question. If a fake subpoena arrived at your office today, would your team know exactly what to do? And I've got to tell you, 9 out of 10, I get the same response. A long pause followed by, honestly, no, we wouldn't. And that right there is the opening. That's where leadership begins, because this is where I step in and I say, look, you're not alone. Most small businesses have no documented process for legal verification, no staff training around AI-generated threats, and no idea how to easily these documents can be fabricated. But this is what my team and I do every day, and we help you see what's coming before it hits you. And this is where we help leaders get ahead. If you want to know exactly how vulnerable your legal and compliance policies are, if you want to test your team against these threats, if you want a simple, clear playbook to protect your business, book your cyber and AI profit assessment. We'll walk you through everything, but this is for leaders who want clarity, confidence, documented processes, and a team that knows exactly what to do. This is not for businesses who rely on common sense or trust just to stop fraud. Common sense doesn't stop AI, processes do. So if you're serious about protecting your business, book your assessment today at citian.group/risk or call 904-907-8503. Don't wait for fake legal threats to create a real business crisis. I want to thank you for joining me on episode 5 of Always On. Next week, we're diving into one of the fastest growing financial attack trends of 2025, AI-generated vendor fraud. Criminals are impersonating your suppliers, duplicating invoices, and redirecting payments with incredible precision. If you pay vendors, you need to hear this. So until then, Stay sharp, stay protected, and stay always on and always ahead. Thanks so much for having me. Everyone, have a great week.